Welcome back, beer tubers. Today we're taking a look at another cool beer from Sun King Brewery out of Indiana, and this is Up Offa That Brett. And this is just, of course, the generic can front on there, and you can see on the label on the back gives the description, the name of the beer and the description. So this is a 1 pint, 16 ounce can. It's that cool twist off. I forget the name of these, but this is a 5.8%, 20 IBU ale fermented with Brettanomyces, and they're using the Brett along with, I think they say the hops. They don't say the hops, they just give some tasting notes. But anyway, Brett IPA. I don't think I've reviewed one yet. You don't see a lot of them locally here in San Diego. Modern Times is doing Neverwhere, which and another type of Brett IPA. A lot of times they're using the strain of Brettanomyces, the Brett Trois version, which actually doesn't get too funky. It actually has huge pineapple and mango flavors to it. It's really tropical, really cool strain of Brett. So a lot of people are using that strain to brew up some IPAs, as opposed to say the Brett C's, the Brett B's, and and the stuff that you usually see in the funkier beers. So big thanks to my buddy Joel for giving me this can review. It pours out a nice, just straight golden color with a bright white head, good carbonation. It's I don't know, I don't think it's can conditioned. It's really clear, but I could be wrong. I just poured out the top of it. Yeah, it's got a lot going on. A lot of apricot, a lot of stone fruit, bright citrus character, some sweet, some not so sweet. Like a little bit of, like, say, a tangerine mixed with some bitter grapefruit. Big floral note in there as well. It's got a little mustiness to it. Little hints of like a mango or a pineapple note. So I don't know if they're using Brett Trois or not. How that yeast works is depend on pitching rates and fermentation temperatures. So it smells very dry, maybe a little bit of breadiness underneath. Yeah, I like the aroma. You can tell that it's a beer that's brewed with Brett. It's not super high alcohol, but has a lot of hop character to it. So let's dig in. Cheers. That's nice. Really refreshing, crisp type of beer. Good mouthfeel. You can pick up a little bit of like a lemony tartness in there too. Now Brett's not going to always sour a beer, and that's the other misconception that people have of Brettanomyces beers is that's a souring agent. It's not. It can add a little bit of a drop in pH, a little bit of acidity, but it's not going to be any kind of like souring agent. That's going to leave it up to the bacteria. So they're saying a lot of these parts funky character, and then they dry hop it a bunch. I wouldn't say it's overly funky. You definitely get a little bit of that kind of wet hay funk going. So up front you get a lot of sweetness. It nails that sort of tropical stone fruit character a lot. The apricot, it has like almost like a bitter sort of mango papaya character, like a underripe version of that fruit. The sweeter peach sort of nectarine characteristics. A little bit of like a white grape character in there. And then you get some of the sweeter citrus, like a mandarin orange. Then you get a lot of that lemony character I was telling you about. Sort of a sharper acidic lemon character. So it's got all the citrus fruit thing going on, and then the finish has a little bit of bitterness to it. Also in the finish is where you pick up some of that, the little bit of the funkiness, and tell that, yeah, this is definitely a Brett fermented beer. It's got that wet hay thing going on. It doesn't go into the whole barnyard, funk type of, really earthy type of character. It sort of goes there, but doesn't quite approach the levels that you get in, say, some of the sour ales out there. The authentic Belgian lambic. The finish is very dry, and not only is the Brett drying out the beer, but I think the bitterness from the hops kind of comes in, and it sort of clashes a little bit with the funk. So I don't know if they're using any early edition hops, if they're all late editions, but how they're getting their 20 IBUs, which is probably where you want to be with a Brett beer. You don't want to hop it up too much. It almost goes too bitter for being a Brett beer, but it just kind of nails the balance kind of right in terms of not being too much. So yeah, this is a really cool beer. I'm gonna go A- with this one. I think it's really enjoyable. I like the style. I guess it's more like a Brett pale ale, if you will, and it's got a lot of cool flavors that I like in it, and it's very refreshing, drinkable beer, good carbonation to it, and something I could session and really enjoy it. So yeah, I don't know if you can get this only at the brewery or whatever, but big thanks to Joel again for giving me the can. Until next time, please comment and subscribe. Cheers.